everyone, it's Edyn. I asked you guys on Instagram for your Q's and now I'm gonna A them. Me and Lauren and my kombucha and half water are here to let you guys know everything you've been wondering. How do you like doing YouTube as a full-time job? So it's a bit challenging because going from making close to 6 figures a year to making what I make on YouTube a year is a humbling experience. So I have been doing a lot of freelance jobs to kind of make up the difference. I want a new car. I'm used to living a certain type of lifestyle. Of course, I wasn't rich by any means, but I shop a lot and I want to continue to be able to do those things and to travel a lot. So I have been picking up quite a few freelance projects. You know, I do like artist development type stuff. I've been doing some coaching, some freelance editing. So I'm doing what I can to make sure that I can still live a comfortable lifestyle. What's your favorite city? My favorite city is Laguna Beach. It's just the most beautiful little gem in Southern California, and I want like a home there when I'm retired for sure. Do you ever struggle with your faith? Absolutely. But the best thing about God is he made us human, and he knows that we're human, and he knows that we're going to stray from his path, and we're not going to live by his word sometimes, that we're going to give in to human temptations. But with that, he knows that it's going to become part of our testimony, and our job is to use that testimony to inspire others. So I hope that that helps if you are struggling with your faith, knowing that it's just making you stronger and a better Christian. How do you fight the feeling of failure that probably came with having to leave LA so soon after you got there? This is not shade at all. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts, as I've been in a similar situation. Much love to you and the boy and Nicole. I didn't fight with the feeling of failure at all, and it really disappoints me that this is the way that so many people see life experiences. Things that happen to you are not a reflection of you, and it's a really unhealthy habit to attach circumstances to your character. I think it's a really old quote, I don't know who it's by, that if you're continuously looking in your rearview mirror, you're destined to crash because you're not paying attention to what's going on ahead of you. And to me, crashing is much more of a failure than a situation or a move not working out in my favor. Failure is kind of defined or characterized as the lack of success, and to me, landing on your feet is admirable, and it's a success even if it's not in the place where you think you would have or should have landed. Society has poisoned us into thinking that detours in our lives are failures instead of lessons that we needed to learn to become stronger and wiser. People tell us that these are weaknesses, and that's simply not the truth. We're so afraid to take a bruise to our ego. We should just take experiences as a time to be humbled and a blessing, and God putting us back on the path that he intended for us in the first place. I remember talking to my mom and her saying, if you want to come home, come home. And I want you to know that you're not a failure. And people are going to wonder, and you don't owe them an explanation. If they have anything to say, you say, so what? I changed my mind. You're allowed to change your mind. And I'm glad that I have such a strong mom in my life that just sees things as they are. She doesn't perceive a detour or a change in plan as a failure, and that's the reason that I handle things the way that I do, because I have a strong influence in my life. And I hope that moving forward, anyone who views situations like this as failures, you'll be a stronger influence to those around you by the way that you handle your situations. All of these things are learned behaviors. We learn them from teachers that aren't whole yet, from parents that have had their own struggles, from grandparents that came from a different time. And it's time for us to unlearn these terrible behaviors and just do better as a society, because they're really hindering our growth and success, and I don't think that that's what any of us really want, is it? I feel like we stay in situations so many times because we're afraid that others will perceive us as a failure, when really, when you do that, all you're doing is failing yourself. And that's a toxic kind of relationship to have within your own person. So yeah, Do you think you and the boy will ever get married? I think that what is for me will be for me, and I pray that what is not for me won't be. I don't know, and I try not to plan out the future in that way. I just wait and see how things, you know, unfold. For your actual question, I want to be married, and in the past I didn't want to be married because I knew whoever I married would have to sign a prenuptial agreement. I have assets that I want to protect, and it's not for me, it's for my sister and her future children and my parents. And I think that's something that isn't really talked about, like female prenuptial agreements, and it was really a conversation that I never wanted to have with anyone that I was dating. So I always used to say, I don't want to be married, we can just like stay together and be committed to each other, just because I didn't want to have that conversation with anyone. But now that I'm much older, I have no problem having that conversation, and I think that I'm able to communicate it in a way so that it's not offensive or perceived as a lack of love. So I do want to be married someday. Hey, do you meal plan? And if so, can you make a video about it? No, I do not meal plan, unfortunately. I just think by the second or third day, the food just doesn't taste very good. So I just kind of cook as I go. That's always worked for me, and that's probably how I'll continue to do it. The only things that I make in bulk is like, if I'm making yogurt, I make a lot of yogurt at the beginning of the week if I know I'm gonna have it every day, or I'll make almond milk on Sundays. But outside of that, I don't meal prep. Give us tea on the boy. He prefers lemonade. You guys, if you listen to my podcast, I talk a lot about him, but he doesn't know how much he wants to be on YouTube yet, so I have to respect that. Best vegan restaurants you've tried. Okay, so El Pelote in Dallas is amazing. I don't know how that queso is vegan. It's so freaking good. My boyfriend has even eaten there, and he's like, this is the best chimichanga I've ever had, not just a vegan one. And the chimichanga and the queso aren't on the menu, but I love vegan restaurants that have just their one thing. They're just a Mexican restaurant. They really had time to perfect their menu. It's so, so good. And in LA, a freaking restaurant that I never hear any vegan talk about is Earl's on Crenshaw. It's not a full vegan restaurant, but that works out better for me because my boyfriend, he eats meat, so if I can get my vegan stuff, he can get his non-vegan stuff. It's just like harmonious, you know? Earl's on Crenshaw is so good, and they stand vegans hardcore. They have the most amazing chili cheese dog. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And they have vegan lemon cake. It's the most moist, delectable lemon cake I've had since I've been a vegan. And they also have this dog. You can get any toppings you want on your dog, but I got one and it had guacamole, pico de gallo, crispy onions, and like veggies drizzled on the top. Holy crap! And vegan chili cheese fries. Earl's on Crenshaw is so freaking good. I believe they're a black owned business. Every time I walk in there, there's a bunch of black guys at the counter smiling at me. Like, I don't know why that stands out to me, but it does. And I guess like growing up, especially in Colorado, being the only black person in the room, I really notice when I walk into a place and there are other black faces there, because that's not something that I've seen a lot in life. So for me, that resonates with me, and seeing like black business owners succeed and do great things and cater to vegans and know that there's more than just like our standard diet that we perceive as culture. That's really powerful to me. This was not supposed to be a talk on culture, but there you go. Those are two vegan restaurants that are really like shining stars to me that I absolutely love. What are your favorite videos to make? I actually like videos like this. I like videos where I get to speak my mind. I like videos about body positivity because I get to speak my mind. I like what I ate in a day because I get to talk a lot. Those are always my favorite kinds of videos to make. Do you want a family someday? And if so, how many kids? I do want a family someday, and that has changed a lot over the years. I'm open to having children, but I think I would prefer to adopt out of foster care. That just has always felt like a calling to me and something that is in my path. Before, I was completely closed off to the idea of having my own biological children at all, but now I am more open to the idea of that as well as fostering to adopt children. How has it been to just focus on YouTube? I kind of answered this in another question. It's been okay, but I do have a lot of side projects as well, but I feel really blessed to have the time to explore anything that I would want to explore right now, and my YouTube community just means so much to me that I just feel so blessed. So I don't know, thank you guys. Are you resting that ankle? So I have been resting my ankle. I actually got put in a boot. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. So I'm allowed to be out of my boot 4 hours a day, and that's usually when I go and walk Nicole. I usually opt out of the boot because I hate going out in public with that thing. It's so like clunky and annoying to walk around in it. But my resting stage got extended to 6 weeks because my ankle isn't healing because I waited so long to rest it. I can switch between my boot and my lace brace, but I have another 4 weeks to go, and I do feel like it's getting better. When I do take my 4 hours off a day and I'm walking, I know I've noticed that the pain isn't as intense, so I think that resting it like I'm supposed to is really helping. When you're working an office job, how did you find the energy to cook dinner every night? I love cooking. I've been one of those people my entire life, even when I was younger, when people were watching Nickelodeon. I've just been someone that liked to watch cooking shows. I loved watching 30-minute meals and semi-homemade meals with Sandra Lee and watching Emerald Lagasse. I really just love cooking shows. I love to cook. So for me, it's not as much of a chore as it is to other people. And maybe take a cooking class, find the love in cooking, and then you won't feel like it's a burden to do it. And also to take shortcuts when you can. If you're making enchiladas, instead of making the enchilada sauce from scratch, buy the enchilada sauce. Like, try to take shortcuts so that cooking isn't so taxing on you. How is Nicole without Bella? I think I answered this in my last Q&A, but it's been a while, so now I can give you like a fuller answer, and she's so happy. I had mentioned before that her and Bella had been fighting a lot, and they just were both trying to be like alpha female, if that's a thing. I don't know. So they were fighting. I didn't want Nicole to get hurt. I didn't want Bella to get hurt, obviously. So it's really nice to have her here, and she seems very happy. What are your favorite vegan brands, food, i.e. sour cream, cheese, whipped cream? My favorite cheese is either Violife or Follow Your Heart. I do like Chow a lot too. Those are all very good cheeses. You can't go wrong with any of them. As for things like sour cream and whipped cream, those aren't really a part of my diet. Those are kind of things that I just opt out of. Like, instead of sour cream, I just use guacamole, and whipped cream, I don't really ever have a need to have that unless I was making like a pie or something. So I don't know, I like to make things at home other than like meat replacements and like different sauces and stuff, but I can try to do like a full video on that. How do you approach a love interest? I'm really curious to hear your opinions on relationships. So I don't approach love interests because I have a boyfriend. But I've never really had to either. Like, just last week I was dropping off my clothes, and a nice gentleman named Eddie approached me while I was looking a hot ass mess with sweats, no makeup, pumping gas. I get approached by men pretty often, and it's always been like that for me. So I've never really had to approach a male, but females I have approached, and it's just like introducing yourself, starting a conversation, and building upon a friendship, because all the foundation of any relationship should be a friendship, right? And I think it said, do you like do dating apps or in person? I always feel like whatever path is right for you is going to be right for you. So what's right for me may not be right for you. I know a lot of people find success on dating apps, but I just kind of like the, I don't know, the romanticized idea of meeting someone at a Starbucks or at the gym. I've met a lot of guys at the gym. That's like my main place where I've met men folk. So I don't know, just don't rush it. Love will come to you when it's supposed to, and that's my best advice. Am I your favorite? And this is from your modern day hippie. Absolutely, you're my favorite. You're my bestest for the restest, and I absolutely love you, Morgan. Do you count calories while trying to lose weight? No, I don't count calories at all. I didn't see you travel anywhere outside of the US. Why so? So I have been to Haiti, I've been to Panama, I've been to Belize, I've been to Honduras, I've been to the Grand Cayman Islands, I've been to Jamaica, I've been to the Bahamas, and I think that's it. Mexico, I think that's all. But I have been outside of the US quite a bit. Now that you're a full-time YouTuber, are you still in touch with your real life friends? Absolutely, but honestly, when I wasn't on YouTube, I was very busy because when I wasn't full-time on YouTube, I was very busy because I was working, so I didn't have time to spend with my friends. And now that I'm doing YouTube full-time, I'm even busier because your income is directly impacted by how much work you do. So I will 100% say no to dinner, to lunch, to events with my friends because I have to work. I'm definitely like a workaholic. So things haven't really changed. I don't have time. I just don't. If you knew you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do today? That's from my friend Sahar. I would spend time with my family and I would go to my favorite place. So I would sit next to the ocean and just enjoy my family and be thankful for all of the time and great experiences that I had here. How do you stay positive when things aren't going well in your life? So I think it's called like the 90-10 rule or something like that. And it's basically that things that happen in life, 90% of it is what happens and 10% is how you react. And it's very similar to what I was saying in the whole California scenario. You just have to move forward. How you react is going to greatly impact the outcome of whatever your issue is. So be very mindful to where you're paying your attention. You have to decipher in life, in all areas, things that you control and things that you can't control. And you need to put all of your energy towards the things that you can control so that you're living the best possible life scenario. If you could have a superpower, what would it be? Flying. I just like being high up. For some reason. I love heights. That's why I want to go skydiving. It's like a bucket list thing for me. And actually somebody died at that skydiving place recently, so I need to find a new place. Or either, but it doesn't have to be skydiving. It could be like free falling, bungee jumping, parasailing. All of those things sound fantastic. Parasailing 30 feet above the ocean sounds amazing to me. So like that's the closest I can get to flying. I want my superpower to be flying. Simplest iced coffee recipe that's also healthy. Bonus points if it's stuff that an average person will have. Make your super strong coffee at the bottom of your cup. Add ice almost to the top and then pour in almond milk at like for the top for your sweetener. Take some stevia and some vanilla extract, melt it together and pour it in. You have an amazing sugar-free vanilla iced coffee. There you go. Since you love working out, will you join back to a gym now that you're settled? No. Well, I will. It's complicated. I can't work out right now. My ankle is trash. I'm in a boot right now. It would just be a waste of money at the current moment. I am doing some at-home workouts that are like ankle-free, but more than likely when I am done with this whole ankle situation, I'm just gonna go ahead. Sorry, my memory card got full and I had to erase some things. So I'll more than likely continue to go to my dance classes, which they meet at different gyms around the city. You just have a membership to the dance place. So I'll probably have a dance membership and a yoga membership, and then my apartment has like weights, bikes, treadmills, cardio equipment. So since the thing that I love the most is classes, I'm going to spend my money on the classes that I kind of like. So I guess that's technically 2 gym memberships, but that's what I plan on doing if my ankle gets all better soon. Can I send you some handmade jewelry? Sure. I'm allergic to most jewelry, so maybe it would be like a giveaway item, but you can email my business email. It's in my bio. How are you so productive and get so much done consistently? I think this is interesting because honestly, I felt like I'm getting nothing done lately. Sure, I'm doing my 3 uploads a week, and I've been having so many audio issues with the podcast, and it's just really been annoying for me. So I haven't felt as productive as I want to be, but really it's just like giving yourself a dedicated workspace and giving yourself dedicated work times and having a checklist. Like I have a daily checklist, I have a weekly checklist, I have a monthly checklist, and I make sure that I'm getting those things done in a timely manner. And I set lots of alarms on my phone so that I don't get stuck procrastinating. How's your weight loss journey going? I have no clue. I don't weigh myself. I don't plan on weighing myself for a while, and I honestly can't move right now because I have a boot on my leg, so who knows? Good question. Would you ever do a series of short videos of you making your favorite vegan dishes? Sure, but they'd probably be long because I think recipes take a while, especially for them to be as detailed as they need to be. But I'm working on a cookbook, so they'll probably end up in the cookbook. What is your opinion on sex before marriage? I'm waiting for marriage and I feel like I'm the only one. I don't think my opinion on sex before marriage matters. I think yours does. And if you feel like waiting is the appropriate thing to do, then I'm proud of you, and I'm so like in awe of your strength and your commitment to faith, I assume. And that's great. I think a lot of times we get tied up in what other people think, but really what matters is what we think. So I see that you think that that's the right thing to do, and that's an amazing choice. Our chihuahuas should be best friends. I have a tan, white, short-haired named Bailey. Well, tell Bailey to follow Nicole on Instagram and they'll be best friends. Does Nicole seem to miss being at your mother's house? Well, she doesn't really have time to because we're there like once a week taking Kayla somewhere or just visiting. And honestly, I went to take Kayla to the store, and I take Nicole with me everywhere. So obviously she was at my parents' house with me, and she was at the door in like 2 seconds. She does not want me to leave her. She doesn't really like being around other dogs that much now. And I think maybe it's just because she's getting older. She doesn't want to be bothered with Bella or the puppies. So anytime that I'm leaving my mom's house, she's right there ready to go. So I think it's safe to say she doesn't miss living there. But she does miss my mom. She loves to spend a little bit of time with my mom, so I make sure that I take her to see her grandma as often as I can. The last question is, what one meal do I wish I could veganize but haven't quite perfected it yet? Honestly, biscuits and gravy, like the good southern biscuits and gravy. I don't know, something about non-dairy milk just doesn't do the gravy justice, like that white peppery breakfast gravy. I've gotten really close, and I've gotten the flavor close now that I'm making my own nut milks. I think the flavor is getting a lot closer, but I don't know, just that the biscuits have been perfected obviously, but the white gravy, that's the one thing that I haven't yet perfected. I want to thank everyone for participating in this Q&A. We got some great questions. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'm getting so close to 10K, and I want nothing more in life to be able to say swipe up, you know? I just want to be able to say that. Like, I feel like I'm destined to say swipe up to see my new video, swipe up to shop this amazing Nike athletic wear sale, you know? That's my destiny. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this Q&A. Like I said, follow me on Instagram so that you'll be alerted when I do future Q&As. And until next time, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to keep an open mind, keep an open heart, practice unconditional compassion, but don't take shit from anyone. I love you guys endlessly, and I hope you love yourselves even more. I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.